Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I am a boat owner, a marina owner, a director on the Marina Industries Association, and a huge advocate for boating. In this series, I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there, enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. So on today's episode of the Boat Princess podcast, I'm going to be talking to Michelle Nichols. Michelle is a woman that's been in the boating industry for a long time now. We're very proud of that a woman has been here that long. She is our office manager at Empire Marina Bobbin Head and an incredibly critical member of our team. So I wanted to have a chat with her today and share with you the sort of things that she does to give you an insight into another type of role that you can enjoy in the boating industry. So Michelle, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you here, darling. So Michelle, how did you end up working at this marina?
Well, it was actually my stepmother was working here back in the Halverson days, and a job opportunity came about where I sort of went, yes, okay, I'd like to do that. And so, that was just being just the normal receptionist at that stage. It was just the receptionist, yeah.
Actually, the receptionist is an incredibly important person. She's the first person that answers the phone, and then the whole impression of that business is given by you because you're that person that answers the phone. So I think receptionists don't necessarily realise that sometimes, how incredibly important they are. So it was another case of, we talked to so many people in this industry that have fallen into a role because of their connections. So it was people you knew rather than being advertised as a position available, sort of thing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think they were advertising, but Lee, my stepmother, had said, look, it'd be a good opportunity for Michelle to come down because my son was quite young then, and it meant that I wasn't travelling around for work. I was actually in one spot whilst he was at kindergarten and things. So it was perfect timing.
So was it full-time position at that point?
Yes, Monday to Friday.
How did you juggle that with a young son?
I don't know. It was a bit difficult straight up, but I think being closer to him as his kindergarten was only up the road, that made life a little bit easier. So if something, happened, I could leave work and attend to him. Otherwise, it was just keep working. Let's work through it. Make sure he's okay and the family's okay.
You've probably blocked it out because it was...
It was a long time ago.
So basically keeping it local was a way that you kept that juggle.
Yes, because I only live 5 minutes up the road, so coming to 5-10 minutes up the road, depending on the traffic in the morning.
Yeah, or the lizards going across the path, or snakes. That's what I've experienced coming down to work sometimes.
It's just to take your time and enjoy the scenery.
And so you were a receptionist for how long? Do you remember?
I was the receptionist / boat hire person / wages lady there for probably, probably about 6 years, I'd say. Yeah, 6 years.
And that's when the Halverson family owned this marina.
Correct. Yeah. So it was lovely working with them. Actually, another family orientated business. Really nice. Really nice.
Yeah. And it was a bit different here then, wasn't it? What was different about the marina at the time?
Well, we didn't have berths. We had moorings.
Mm-hmm.
Plus...
Oh, let me just explain that to our listeners. So a berth is where you walk on and walk off your boat. So it's you're parking your boat into a space that then allows you to directly walk off your boat. A mooring is where you actually have your boat attached to a rope, which is attached to a big concrete block in the water. So it's not actually beside any structure. So you have to take a smaller boat to get out to that mooring. So that's the difference between moorings and berths. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on, Michelle.
And yeah, with that, because people needed service to get to their vessels, we had had 10 younger boys here running around doing that sort of thing, straight from school. So a lot of teenage boys would start their profession here back then to being shipwrights and stuff, because it was like their first step of being from a dockhand up into being a shipwright or a mechanic or whatever, which is another thing that the Halversons actually ran all those bits and pieces and ran a lot of apprenticeships and that back then.
Did they didn't have tenants? They ran all of them?
Correct.
Okay. So very different.
Yeah. Different than what it is today. So I think that's why we had a lot more females in the office back then too, because there was a lot more
administration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you're actually running a whole series of businesses, really.
Yep.
If you're running that whole thing, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So then I think it went from. Then they decided to, the boys or the businesses to look after themselves, and that just changed the structure then.
So they did move to the tenancy model.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah, they did.
And they also hired. Were you here when they were still hiring out the hire boats? So many people in Sydney remember hiring those.
Yes, I was, but the fleet had only gone down to about 8 when I'd started, from 36 or something down to about 8. And those vessels were out every weekend, all the time. They were always booked up. It was good. People loved it, loved to take those out, and they still ring today asking if they can hire one.
Yeah, we get a person about once a day, don't we, saying, I remember coming down here and hiring out the Halversons and blah, blah. Just so you know, folks, the regulations in Australia got very stringent, which made it very, very hard to continue that business. So that's why that all changed. So tell me about a fun story from that time when the Halversons were here, something that you had to solve, or a problem that came up, or a funny story, or...
Oh, there was one lady and her best friend. They'd come down just to take the vessel out for a weekend, and they were just, two ladies getting away from it all, leaving away from their families for the weekend. And I said, you're lucky today. You've got a vessel called Robin. Well, the lady who was hiring just looked at me and had a ghostly, deathly stare. And I said, is everything okay? And she said, well, the reason why we're going out this weekend is because my husband's just left me for a Robin. And I went, no. And I couldn't change it at all. Like, I could not swap boats or anything for her. So anyway, yeah.
Oh,
I just
my
thought,
goodness.
What do you say?
Yeah,
what do you say? But anyway, they did have a nice time when they came back. I think they called the boat something else the whole time they were out. Yeah, so.
Oh my goodness, that's it's an interesting story. See, I knew there would be one.
There's many more, but they can't come to my mind straight away.
So you were a receptionist then. When did your role change from that during the Halverson era, or?
Yes, when my stepmother resigned from, she'd been working here 30 years and decided that she wanted to leave. And at that stage she'd been training me up in her bits and pieces, and then I stepped into that role.
And what was that role classified
That was
as?
basically office manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just had then a couple of extra, one or two extra girls, I think, at that stage, and then I started running the team.
Excellent. Okay. So in running a team like that, what sort of skill sets did you learn your skills on the way through on the job, or did you come to that original role with a certain level of skill set that you then developed, or how do you think that worked?
Well, earlier days in my life, I used to work for a bank, so I think a lot of my figures and things came from there. Between the bank and here, I actually did something totally different. I was doing photography, so it's totally different. And I got taught, I think, in the roles back then with marinas, they were a lot different than other sort of accounting sort of thing, because it's a whole different world, a marina, than, like a plumber's or something. I think it's got different categories to it, so it's a lot of learning whilst you're at work, on the job. Because there's things all the time different.
Because even the words and the phrases and is all different, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And the Halverson family themselves, they're an icon in the world of boating in Australia, aren't they? Do you remember a nice moment you had with one of the Halverson family that you can share with us?
It was probably with Harold. He was Harvey's father. He used to always come down here every day, driving his beautiful gold Rolls Royce. Usually it was on the wrong side of the road when he drove down. But he used to always love my handwriting. So whenever he wanted something written out, printed, he'd get me to do it because he said I had lovely handwriting. I thought that was very sweet. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. And so they did move to the tenancy model. They brought their fleet down to the 8 boats. Mm-hmm. Did they close down that renting out boats operation completely in the end?
Yes, they did. It was Harvey's decision back then. He did a lot of pondering about doing so. I remember he used to go out and feed the fish here. Yep. And he used to say he used to make his biggest decisions whilst feeding the fish.
Oh.
And where do you go with that? You had to put all your holding tanks in because regulations changed and things like that onto the vessels. So he decided to sell them off, one by one privately, and lots of people, bought them up and have restored them, or, I think we've got one down here at the moment called Atlanta. She looks gorgeous. So,
yeah, there is... I always say with a Halverson and beautiful classic boats like that if you buy one and you spend some time renovating them, they're never going to go out of style.
No,
because they're so beautifully classic, aren't they? It takes some looking after, but they're quite lovely.
Yeah, they are. They're a classic boat. They're beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful, that woodwork. Yum.
Yeah. So then we became the new owners of Empire Marina, and we changed it to Empire Marina Bobbin Head because I guess it was just called Halverson Marina there before then, was it?
Correct, yep.
Yeah. And was that a huge transition for you, or was it not a big difference?
Oh, no, it was big. It was big. It was just a whole new lot of learning again, because you do things. We still kept the same policies and whatnot, but it was just a whole new bank accounts, the whole bit, everything. Just But then Stephen was the marina manager then, and he helped smooth that transition over for me by being really, really great to work with. So I think that was the easiest. Easiest part was working with him, but it was fun.
Stephen was a fun guy to work with.
Yeah.
And what do you love about working at a marina?
There's so many bits. I think down here that at Bobbin Head, it feels like we're miles away, but we're not. We're so close to so much. But this little place, it's like it's got its own heartbeat, and it's and it beats it to its own drum, and no one will ever be able to change that. And I think it's with the combination of our beautiful clients and the people that we have all working together that keep that going. And just the nice just seeing kids come down and feed the fish, things like that. It's just lovely. It's one of my favourite parts is watching that part when the kids feed the fish. Even when I feed the fish, I think that's really good too.
Yeah, I noticed you do that on when we've had lots of rainy days. You'll go out and feed the fish, otherwise they'll get hungry.
That's right. No one's there to feed them. They've all got names too. Yeah. So I think it's, as I said, it's a beautiful scenery outside, and if you're feeling a bit stressed and whatnot, at least you can just walk out and spend a bit of time in nature and, rebalance yourself and then go back to work. So that I really, really, really like.
Yeah, that's a nice. It is a very. I mean, I still have to pinch myself sometimes when I come. Well, every time I'm coming down here, really, to recognise that this is where I get to, in inverted commas, work, because it's such a special place. And the other advantage is that everybody that's coming here are coming here for pleasure. So all you're doing is making their lives better, which is such a nice business to work in. I think that's a real privilege and a real honour, and I really love that side of our business. And I know you have a sign in the back of house that says, our workplace is our clients' place of relaxation, sort of thing, isn't it? So that's a cultural thing that we have to be very careful to. We might be having a bad day, but we must never project that to our clients.
No.
Have you got some techniques for doing that, for managing that?
Let me think. Probably a glass of wine each night after work. Maybe two. I don't know. I just think it's a matter of getting to know your clients. I mean, because we have such a diverse lot of clients, everyone's different. But once you start getting to know them and becoming their friend, it makes life so much easier because they trust you as well. They'll come in and help, Michelle, I need this, or just to come in and say hello. Do you want a coffee? That's part of working here is really, really good as well. That you do. We just get to meet so many different people.
We do, don't we? We've had clients walk in with some slice they've made at home or things like that, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I think that's so lovely that they do little things like that, and that's because they feel part of this family that is the marina that they have their boat at. So it's so lovely. If you were a woman coming into the boating industry now, what pathways or what skill sets would you suggest to women?
I wish I had have become a dockhand first, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just to sort of, get the feel of the boats, know the boats a little bit better. Because someone might even say to me, it's that Riv 43, and I just look at them with a blank look. Like, I know what a Riv is, but really a 43, I have no idea. Yeah. Okay? But I think if you start early and start like the boys themselves, and there's room for that for the girls. We had a girl here once, Gemma. She was just fantastic.
She was amazing.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Could drive
and she went
the
off
boat.
to do super yacht crewing, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think if I had that would have been a good start in life, I reckon. Apprenticeship that can work your way up, becoming marina manager.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there is that opportunity for women, I think, to go, because marina management is it doesn't have to be a guy. It can well and truly be a woman. Yeah. So I think there is that opportunity, and I don't think enough girls in school even think about working at a marina. So we're trying to fix that. Yeah, which is good. And what skill sets do you think you have to have in your particular role as the office manager?
I think, tolerance.
I love that. Yes.
Good basic, can you count sort of thing.
Yeah.
What else? There's a few things I think. Yeah, a bit of sense of humour, and sometimes to be really quite strong too, because otherwise, it is still a bit of a man's world out there, and you have to sort of stick up for yourself and just go, no, my way or the highway, right?
Yeah, we're all slightly scared of Michelle. But we need her because we need to be slightly scared of Michelle.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you just got to be strong when you need to be. You know?
Yeah. No,
and then show a sensitive side too. If you ready to crack it and cry, show that as well. That always helps.
Yeah. No, I think you're a very you wear your heart on your sleeve, and we all know you're a very good person.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we love having you on our team. So, you have a son that's now grown up and doing his own thing, and you have, you're a very valued part of our team, as you know.
Yes, thank you.
And do you think you've some of the things you've experienced here helped with your parenting as well through the years?
Yeah, I think, again, knowing different walks of life of people have helped me with explaining that to Alex as he's grown up, that, he might be a bit frustrated, but hang on, look at the good side of that, or things like that. I'd say it has, and being also in a job for a long time has taught him that as well, that you just don't have to go from job one to job. I think, a bit of stability, things like that always helps as well. Yeah.
And I think one of your assets and skills, if you like, is you're incredibly trustworthy and you behave as if this is your business as well. And as an owner, we truly appreciate that, because that's we know whatever we give you, we can completely and implicitly trust you with everything you do. And
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. And you therefore have passed, I believe, that on to your son as well. That's a really important quality to pass on as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. This is mine. Yeah. Okay, my Marina.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. I truly do. We always say Michelle's the office manager / CEO.
I'm the one that takes your money.
Yeah, because you look after accounts receivable and accounts payable, don't you?
Yes, both of them. Yeah. Yep. So it's a busy day today because it's been a direct debit day today. So
your dad owned a boat, didn't he?
Yes, he actually owned Atlanta, the one that's here, but her name was Minmay Pre. It was originally Atlanta, then there was Minmay when Dad had it, and now it's back to Atlanta.
And she's oursen.
Yeah. So that was Dad's first boat, and then the second one was Buccaneer, which was a 36, I think.
Yeah.
And that was a Viking, and then his last one was Kamana, which was here as well.
Yes, I remember Kamana. She's beautiful.
Yeah. So that was his last boat.
Yeah, we sold Kamana, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me about some boating memories you have as a child?
Oh, wow. Well, there was one where I actually took out one by myself. It was with some friends. I didn't go with Dad or anything. And we brought it back here, and this is back with the moorings. And the wind had picked up. And anyway, one of the hatches blew off and into the water. And so because the two people I'm with have got no boating skills at all, I've had to dive into the water to go and get this hatch. So I'm there with a hatch. And the water's going around me and everything. I'm trying to swim back with the hatch. They're just standing on the back going, come on. I'm going, can you throw me a bleeding rope? Like this? Because I thought I'm going to drown. So they threw me a rope and then pulled me. on board. I thought, I'll never take friends out again, never. Very funny day, actually.
And as a young child, did you spend lots of time on the boat with your dad?
Yeah, we didn't have big boat at that stage with Dad. We had just trailer boats back then, but he used to go out fishing and that, and always take my brother, but never me when they used to go outside fishing because it wasn't the place for a girl to go, and I used to get so upset. But we did do it. Yeah, he used to take me out fishing sometimes. Oh, one time we were out there fishing and I've caught this flathead, and he, and they, oh, look, Dad, and he gets it, and he gets the hook out. He goes, you don't catch flathead with a brim hook. Who said no? There's two different sorts of hooks.
So that's interesting. That's a moment right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That your dad thought it was okay to take his son out, but not you.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's
Wasn't
something we need to. I'm sure it has changed now.
Yeah.
Dads tend to take their girls out and treat them exactly the same.
Yeah,
So.
I think it was more because you're outside or something, and there was nowhere for me to go to the toilet or something like that. But it's a cultural thing back then where the boys would do all that sort of things and girls weren't. I should be staying home playing dolls.
Yeah. And when we say outside, we mean beyond the heads.
Correct.
So to out to the what we call the blue water, which can be rougher and it is more exposed. But that's interesting. Yeah. And then as an adult, you've been boating, and what's your boating experience since Dad?
Well, I actually didn't get my license till Empire was running.
There you go.
I was sort of a bit scared to get my license, but so I'm still a little bit. I'm not that confident, but I don't mind being out in the boat, and I'll give it a go. But
yeah,
I'd prefer to sit back with a glass of wine and
don't
someone
we
else
all?
look after it.
Don't we all? Yes, we all love to sit back and have a captain looking after the boat and just enjoy the champagne, because obviously you can't if you're actually driving it.
That's right.
So I'm really enjoying this chat. I hope you are too. I just thought I'd break it up for a moment to pop a bit of champagne with you. Oh, damn, I don't have it here right now. But, oh, goodness, I love a good bottle of Pommery, don't you? Pommery Champagne are very kind and sponsor this podcast, and we love sharing a bit of that stuff on the boat. So big thanks to Pommery Australia. We love your champagne. Oh, yes, and on that. So, a little bit of Pommery, on board. Yes, we all like a bit of Pommery on board. And you can't do that when you're actually driving the boat. So, yeah. And what do you think our clients get out of boating?
Oh, I think it's for them, obviously, being here. That's their R&R, that's where they work all week, high-pressure jobs, bits and pieces like that. And they get down here on a Friday afternoon and that's it. They're just, like any just normal people just wanting to have a really nice family time, go up the river and then have great time with their families and friends.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. And not, you've got your quieter ones that just like to just relax on the back of the boat with nobody around them, and then you've got the others that like all to raft up and have a bit of fun, So,
and that raft up term is the boats all sort of they pick up a couple of moorings and then they join the boats together so that they can actually kind of jump from one boat to the other. And what invariably happens is if you've got the biggest boat, everybody ends up on your boat. So, because you've got the biggest generator. So, that's what rafting up means. And it's really good fun rafting up with boating friends. So this location that we have here within the national park obviously has some different things that you have to deal with that perhaps other marinas don't. Can you give us an idea of a few of those things?
I think because we get so many people from the national parks themselves, so the traffic that comes through here gets quite busy with people, especially through school holidays. You've got, people from all sorts of walks of life down here because it is a national park. So it's not just running the marina, it's sort of crowd control some days too with the amount of people that we get coming through. But again, that's, just families having fun and whatnot, and we've just, respect what they want to do and have fun with them as well. So,
do you remember that, because we have tinnies we hire out down here, and that gives families and people that don't normally go boating the opportunity to have a go at boating. Do you remember on Do you remember that? The happiest refugee?
no.
Did you know about that?
No.
So he came down here and rented a tinny. And, he's the happiest. Obviously, his story is being about a boat person, right? And he came down when Stephen was here. And the end of his book finishes with hiring a tinny here at Empire Marina Bobbin Head, and Steve throwing him the life jacket and blah, blah, blah. And did you not know that one?
No.
There you go. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so our tinny hire is famous, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we do like to, I guess, encourage the public to think of this, not with on the arms where the boats are, but the general marina space to be made very welcome here, and to give them an insight into boating, because that's really important to us, that as many people enjoy boating as possible. And I think that's something we do as a private marina that some clubs don't, because clubs have a club membership, and if their club membership is full, you're not allowed on the premises. Or if you live within if you live within 5 Ks but you're not a member, you can't go into the club.
Yeah. I think some clubs are like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's really interesting that private ownership marinas actually are more accessible to the public, which is quite funny, really. Yeah. So it's so Michelle, what do you enjoy most about your job?
The people. Yep, the people who I work with. And
well, that's me.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, my bosses, yeah. No, yeah, I think it's the people.
Yeah.
It's and the job itself is good. It's never dull. There's always something that's happening. It's never the same. Like, you can walk in the morning and go, I'm going to do this, this and this, and then none of that happens. Yeah. Everything goes sideways and everything else. So you're still doing what you started in the morning, because, in the afternoon, because it just gets really busy with people. But that's the fun part of it,
Yeah.
You just don't know what you're going to expect for the day.
Well, I did walk in one day and have to take a tin off the nose of a gecko. Is it a gecko? What are they called?
Oh, the goanna.
The goanna.
Yeah.
The great big goanna. When I came into work in the morning, he had a tin on his nose, so he couldn't. So I
get it off.
So the first thing I did that morning was taking the tin off the goanna's face. So it's continually varied, isn't it?
Yeah. Some days we've got seagulls in the office with us. Or there's a box and it's got a possum in there. It needs to be relocated.
So
or there's snakes out the back where you just,
Yes, indeed. But yeah, I love solving the things that happen with clients, and I'm sure you've got some wonderful stories there. Is there a story you can share with us of something that just made you feel good because you'd made a client feel, not necessarily a marina client here, but perhaps a member of the public that's come in and hired a tinny or something like that? Do you remember any good stories like that?
I just remember some people that had lost their baby. The baby had died, and they just wanted to, throw the ashes out in the water, and we hired the tinny out to them, to this young couple, so that they could go and do that. And they were just so grateful, that they could spend a bit of time up there, up the river, and do something that was just so connected to them, and, being close to the water and just releasing that little one off into the world. So that was very sad, but it was just, they were just so grateful that we allowed them to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a nice story. Yeah. And very something you'll never forget.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And they'll never forget.
No.
Yeah, that's nice. So, on that simple note, we better pick it up again, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
No, there's no need to be sorry, because it is actually a very special and that's something that couples go through sometimes that isn't necessarily recognised, and it is an incredibly hard thing to go through. So it's a subject matter that should be expressed every now and then, I think.
Yeah, well, it's not always just happy out of boats. There's, a reason why some people are doing what they're doing, you know. There's other things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So give us a day in the life of Michelle.
Get up. Go for my little walk in the morning. Come to work and go, what is going to happen today? No, and just start the day, just start the day. Look forward to seeing everybody, make sure everyone's okay, and just battle through it, solve the problems if there is any.
Michelle, as a woman in the boating industry, is there anything this team in particular does that makes you feel more supported as a woman in the boating industry?
Yes, it was the opportunity that Empire had given me to go and do my marina management course, which was really, really good. Like, it was for 4 days, and it just gave me another insight to other marinas of how they operate and what, challenges or what we could bring to ours to, step it up a bit, so, and work better with my manager at the time as well, because we were both, he'd say things and I'd just look at him bluntly going, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, a fire cart? Oh, okay. Just brought me into more running of the marina, helping. Yeah.
So brought you to a different level.
Correct.
If you like. Yeah. And I think you networked with some other women at that course, didn't you?
Yes.
By memory?
There was that one, and also for the contractors sign-in that we did with the BIA. There was a few of us ladies in on that to ensure that, contractors coming to the marina sign in properly. It was really good being part of that and getting that system up and running in the marinas.
Mm. And I think you guys speak to each other since, don't you? If you've got a...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's what I love about marinas. Marinas are, we kind of compete against each other, but we kind of don't, because we're very location-based, aren't we? Yeah. So it's quite easy to talk to another person from another marina, say, how do you do this? And share that knowledge to make life a little bit easier for everybody rather than reinventing the wheel every time.
Yeah. Well, that's right, because we are, the same in the sense, just, other people got different ideas which can help, and we've got good ideas too which can help. So, so I still speak to some of those ladies. Yeah, it's good. That's good. Good fallback.
Yeah. And I think women are particularly good at that, supporting each other and networking with each other and keeping in touch with each other and even across different businesses, which is a good thing. Yeah. So I think we've pretty much covered it with Michelle today. Have you enjoyed being with us here at the Boat Princess podcast?
Oh, it's been a bit daunting because I've never done anything like this before.
You did very well.
Thank you. I'm getting one of those hot flushy things now.
Oh, I saw a mug the other day. It said, I'm still hot. It just comes in flushes now. So thank you very much for Michelle for joining us. Thank you very much for being on our team. We love having you.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, I love being part of it too. I love working with you guys, you and Darren. It's awesome. It's awesome. We have some funny times. I'm sure there's more to come.
I'm sure there is. All right, darling. Well, we'll see you on the water soon, folks. Thanks to Michelle, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you.
So it was lovely talking to Michelle, our very own office manager at Empire Marina Bobbin Head. Lockdown presented its own challenges to us as a podcast, and I really do like doing my interviews in person. So I took the opportunity to speak to some of my team members during that time. So we'll be sharing that with you over and in between other podcasts we're now recording now that we're allowed to all move around again. We do actually have a position available at Empire Marina Bobbin Head as a receptionist at the moment. So if you are someone that wants to get into the boating industry and be a very important part of our business, please contact us on 0294579011 or email john@empiremarinas.com.au. This is actually one of the very important parts of my podcast, trying to get more women and more people into the boating industry. So I'm hoping that somebody will get in touch and join us. Take care, everyone, and see you on the water soon.